like,
You worked so hard for it.
so like if I had to swim too,
I think you're sweet.
I would have been under. I would have been like under 440.
You would have been under what you wanted. Hey,
That's perfect. Yeah. Not bad. Not bad.
Welcome back, everyone listening to More Than Miles. On this episode of the podcast, actually the last episode of the 2025 calendar, we have our first ever guest, Kevin Capolini, my marathon coach, coming back on to join us and talk about his 70.3 Ironman triathlon that he did back at the end of June, which would be our anniversary episode. So thank you for listening. Kevin is going to take us through what exactly that race morning was like for him, because it's very unique and you'll find out why, but also with a lot of other things on why he does it, why he kind of fell in love with endurance sports, and really anything you really need to know about the Ironman triathlon. So thank you for always listening throughout the year, and enjoy. Welcome back, everyone, to the podcast More Than Miles by Connor Abrahall. Today I'm joined with a familiar guest that you've seen before, but today we're going to be going deeper into his latest race, triathlon-wise, the 70.3 Ironman. Kevin, thank you for joining us again.
Dude, of course. Thanks for having me, Connor.
So 6 months ago, in the end of June, you completed your second 70.3. Can you just tell the general audience like what that might be like?
Yeah, 70.3 triathlon. It's like a mid-distance triathlon. Um, it's a 1.2 mile swim, 56-mile bike, and then a half marathon to wrap it up. So it's pretty long. It usually takes people anywhere from, if you're like a pro, just around like under 4 hours to most people are completing it in 5, 6, 7 hours. I think 8 hours is the cutoff. But yeah, it's you're out there for a while.
And you mentioned earlier to me privately that the swim got canceled for the race. Why was that?
Yeah, so the swim got canceled, unfortunately. It does happen at a lot of these races, kind of due to just random circumstances. So for my race, it was canceled because there was some sort of like sewage overflow into the river that we were supposed to be swimming in, which obviously is not that's not good. You never want to hear that. So I was glad that I didn't have to swim in that water, but at the same time, I was pretty upset to not be able to do the swim just because, you train for it all year and then for it to get canceled, it kind of stinks. But yeah, it did get canceled.
Oh my God. Ew.
Yeah, it's brutal.
That sucks, but at the same time, I would be pissed too. Why the 70.3? Because I know you already did one. Why did you not decide to go to the full?
Right. I mean, there's a few reasons. I think the first one is I wasn't exactly happy with my time from 2024. So I wanted to improve my time, which I was able to do. And at the same time, the Ironman specific races, they cost so much money. So the half is around $500 just to enter. And then the full Ironman is a grand. It's about double that. So a
Oh,
little under $1,000, right around like if you get it in really early, you're like 880, but most of them are over 900, just shy of 1,000, which is it's a lot. So that was kind of another reason. I'm in college still, so I kind of wanted to save a little bit of money. Um, but at the same time, I was kind of bummed at first to not do the full Ironman this year, but once I kind of just accepted it, and I was actually really excited to train for the half again. Um, and the half's a really good distance. It's not too long, but it's not a short race either. Um, it's kind of perfect, in my opinion. Um, yeah, it's kind of why I went with the 70.3 again.
yeah. What did your training regimen look like and how long? Because I know me and you, we coached for my marathon for 3 months, but I can only imagine a triathlon like distance. So what was yours training like?
Yeah, so the race was in the end of June. Um, so I'm trying to think. I started really training. Uh, Specifically, like just very specific in-depth training, very structured, probably around like end of February. beginning of March. So it was about 3-ish months, I would say. About 3-ish months of like, you know, right right to the workout. Like I knew what I was doing Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Uh, every day of the week, I knew exactly how many miles I was running, biking, swimming. But then before that, I was running and biking since maybe November of that
Oh wow.
year. So it was a while. But yeah, really detailed training about like 3 to 4 months out from the race.
Sheesh.
Yeah, it was a
That's
lot.
crazy. Um, from my marathon just experience, I know how to wake up early, but I can only imagine like the 70.3. What's race morning like for you? Like a triathlon?
Yeah, so most of the Ironman branded races I know start pretty early, and most races start early, but I think the start is it's 6 a.m. So you have to wake up kind of early. Obviously, if you can get a hotel pretty close to the race start, that's huge, which I was able to do. Um, but yeah, you have to go to your transition area in the morning to get everything ready on your bike. You drop the bike off the night before, and in the morning of, you wake up, go to the transition to just last minute kind of set everything up, and then you head over to the swim start. And then the swim gun goes off at 6 for this race. Some of them are different, but most of them are around 6. So yeah, I woke up at like 4, I think, about 4, 4:30. Yeah, maybe it was 4:30. I woke up at 4:30, got dressed, just started snacking on some food and some drinking some liquids. And then yeah, kind of just mentally getting ready and just getting really excited, honestly.
Yeah. No, that's so that part's the most interesting part to me, but like the whole triathlon, like the transitions and whatnot.
So the transitions, yeah. It's pretty interesting because it's unlike any other race. It's not like the marathons where you kind of just start and go and then finish. The triathlons, it's three different races kind of in one. So you're swim, bike, run, and there's a transition in between the bike or the swim and the bike, and then the bike and the run. So they call it like T1, T2, and that's kind of where you're transitioning from one sport to the next.
Now, the part that I always had the biggest question is how do you find like your bag or like your drop, whatever? Like I that always like confuses me whenever I'm watching these races. They just know right where to go.
Yeah, so I was kind of curious about that too when I was watching, just videos about this. So the drop bags, so basically it's kind of interesting. You set up your transition area before the race even starts. So the day before the race, you have to check your bike in, and that's where you get the whole packet pickup. So you get your bibs, all the numbers. So you put these stickers with your number on your helmet, your bike, and then what you do is you bring your bike with all the numbered stickers on it to show that it's your bike, you're the athlete that goes to that bike, and there's a number on the bike rack that corresponds with your number, and then you put your bike there, and that's kind of your area. Some of the races have different transition areas in different spots. So like for my race, it was different because T1 and T2 are in the same exact spot. So I'm going right back to the same place I went to. Um, after the swim, I go to my transition spot. After the bike, I go to the same transition spot, which is nice. But yeah, you set all that up the night before. For other races where there's like a drop bag, a lot of times, it'll either happen the night prior or the morning of, where you put your number on the bag. It's like a little sticker. And then essentially when you get, say, off the bike, that's kind of your transition spot. So that's everything. It's like the place that you go, after the swim, after the bike. And you set that up before the race. So it's usually the day before. So you set up your spot, and everything kind of corresponds with like that sticker with a number on it. It's your specific number. And that's kind of how you know where to go.
Okay. I've seen before like athletes will have like tattooed almost. Is that the number you're talking about?
Yeah, that's the number. Yeah. So, for the half Ironmans, they don't do the tattooed number. It's only for the Ironmans. I don't know why that is, but for the full Ironman, they kind of like tattoo your number on your arm, kind of like right in your forearm. I honestly don't exactly know why that is,
Okay.
but that's just for the Ironman, yeah. But it's the same number as, you know, the one that'll be on your bib, the one that'll be on the stickers that go on your bike,
Good.
and the one that's, on your transition area.
So going back to the swim being canceled or whatnot, how did they start the race then?
Right, yeah.
Like,
That's a good
did they
question.
just like send out waves and bikes? Like, I guess.
Yeah, basically. So because this one was canceled, they call it a time trial start. So basically, you've got literally two rows of people, and there's I think there was a 1,100 people that did this race. So you got two rows of people just lined up, and there's a basically like kind of like a very it was like a very like symmetrical beat, and it was just like a da 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 da, and on that like off beat, the two people just clip in and start riding. So it's weird because you really don't know if you're ahead of someone that you're riding with or if you're behind them, because if you started before them but they caught up to you, they're really way ahead of you because they started after you. So it
Yeah.
was weird, but it worked. I mean, it was all right. I had a fun time with it regardless, but yeah, it was weird.
What was the course like? Was it like an out and back or anything like that?
So the full course, like the swim is it's point to point, so which is nice. It's just one straight go. So you get out of the water, get on the bike, and then the bike is one loop as well. So it's not like an out and back, it's not a looped course. You just do one giant loop. It's 56 miles, and it was about, I think it was about, trying to think of how much gain, but it was a few thousand feet of gain. And then the run was also, um, that one was, they call it a lollipop course. So you kind of go up, and then there's this big loop here. And then you did that lollipop, like the little circle. I think you did it 3 times, and then you came back down. So it was kind of weird, but
That would mess with my head so bad. So
right.
bad. Dude,
Yeah.
I hate out and backs. Even like I ran like a half marathon the end of September. Brian McCaffrey was actually at it, the Hamptons one. And
Yeah.
part of it, like once you got to like mile 5 out of the Hamptons, it was like a straight line, and you had no idea when the turn was coming. Oh my God, it was brutal. I was
That's
getting like
awful.
so mad.
Because you see people coming the other way and you're like, where are they coming from? Where did they turn?
Yeah,
They're
dude, it's like,
never
oh my
coming.
God. Like me and my
Oh,
friend we
man.
were just, like we're running and we're like, dude, holy crap, this sucks.
Oh
It
my gosh. Yeah, it's brutal.
was so bad. Oh my God. Um, so what was your goal time for this second 70.3? I know the no swim kind of messed that up.
Right. Yeah, the swim kind of messes up the time because obviously that like everyone's time is going to be faster than it would be without the swim. But my goal, I had like a few goals. The first 70.3 I ever did, I really didn't train and I just blindly said I wanted to do it under 5 hours, which I think I actually could have done it. But yeah, I just didn't train enough. And I ended up doing that one in like 5 hours and 30 minutes. And then the second one, I ended up doing in 4 hours and 3 minutes without the swims, which would equate to, for that course, it would have been actually pretty fast. It would have been potentially probably right around 4:31. I would have swam a bit under 30 minutes, most likely. Obviously, like anything could have happened, but it's a downriver swim, so it's a very fast swim. Um, but yeah, I mean, I definitely the goal was to at least go under 5 hours, and I even if I swam the worst swim of my life or floated down the river, I would have went under 5 hours. So I can like confidently say I would have been under 5 hours.
But
Most likely it's probably the equivalent of like a 4:35, 4:36 half Ironman. So that was kind of the goal, under 5, and I was pretty happy with it.
oh yeah, I mean, I remember you sending me the video of you crossing or whatever.
Yeah.
You look pretty stoked, dude. What's that feeling like when you cross one of those finishes at an event like that?
Yeah, it's pretty surreal. Honestly, I feel like watching videos of people do it, in my opinion, I thought I was gonna be like kind of more in the moment because those videos are so cinematic and it's like, oh my gosh, like you're just like kind of looking around and everything. But in both my experiences with these Ironman branded events, there's a ton of people spectating, especially at the finish. Um, and because I did the course for a second time this year, I knew that like the last few turns and stuff. So I was just letting it all out and just emptying the tank. And once I finished, then I was kind of like, oh my God, like that was awesome. But like I feel like even when you hop onto like that little like red carpet and everything and go under like the arch, it just happens so quick. It happens too quick. I wish I could just relive it, which fortunately I'll probably just do another race and then and then do it again. But yeah, it's a good feeling. It's an awesome feeling.
Do you have any idea on what your next race will be, triathlon wise?
I have an idea, yeah. So I think it'll either be I'm definitely gonna do a full Ironman next year. So I think it'll most likely I think I'm leaning towards Ironman Maryland right now. It's in like the end of September of next year. It's a pretty flat course. The only thing I've heard about it, there's a downside with the wind. Supposedly there's like really strong winds, which is almost like worse than hills in a way.
Yeah.
But that and then triathlon wise, I would like to do another half. I'm looking at Muscleman in Geneva, New York. I have two buddies that are gonna try and race that as well, so I think it'd be pretty fun to do it with them. Um, yeah, so those are the two triathlons that I'm looking at right now.
Awesome. Kev, before I let you go, if someone was listening to this podcast and really got amped up to try and do one, and but they were scared, they were hesitant to sign up, what would you tell
Yeah, I think it's a pretty simple answer. Like, unfortunately, they do cost a little bit of money, but if you have the budget for it and you're a little scared to just do it, you got to just sign up. Like, once you sign up, you get that email confirmation and you're like, oh, like crap, this is happening. You put that date in the calendar and then you know you have to do it. So it's either gonna it's either gonna be daunting because you're not gonna do the training and you're like, oh my gosh, I got this race coming up. But most of the time, I feel like when people just sign up spur of the moment, they end up surprising themselves and doing something that they're really proud of. So I would just say, yeah, you just gotta sign up. You gotta rip the band-aid off and
Rip the Band-Aid.
throw the money down and sign up.
All right, Kevin, it was great to have you. Thank you for joining in. To anyone listening, this was the last episode of the podcast for a bit, so I appreciate everyone for listening. The link will be in my Substack, YouTube, you name it. Thank you. Lace them up.